guided by the principles of integrity, probity, and accountability. Mr. Speaker, the time has come for us to do right.
Peace. Yes. Mr. Speaker, I know they can't take it. Now that we are coming to minority, be prepared. Be prepared. You see, you can't take it.
Kenyans have voted for the resetting agenda of Nkoko. So, not only that, Mr. Speaker, apart from the vote and proceedings and maybe his end of service benefits that he's very much interested in.
Osnan say Parliament, omuko break, speaker, Edbeto Abontin, and what you say, omuntna efie kakra, na omunyan tutuye bini adiate. Inti Parliament ankasa de yehu Parliament of Ghana, say omuye proceedings ache yipa. Na omubie tu me omu bayi ense mebiri akoso. Nkofo mu kopie mu Parliament na nya asem ketwa ene MPP fu nyina bi koi NDC fu nyina bi nso ekopie mu ho a na enye asem ketwa owura Napo ekopie mu ho ato Forson nso ekopie mu ho na Afenyo nso ekopie mu ho a kyese enye asem ketwa na nsem wo mo de tutu dwa Parliament ebra omu ko hyiaye na omu din komo efa oman Ghana ho ene way forward no majority ni minority ni nkro no ba ekekeka ho no enu mu ana papa Napo edikotu dwa wo kire sei sika o mo de be yankokon nketenkete no eja o hwe nanim se o mo be enmamu din komo ase enya asam ketwa ye betie nsem ni bi na ene na hwe speaker Bagbin wote na kunyam no wagigira dam na sise de otimi se unua ebo na dwuma se enye asam ketwa kora yankwa ni enkotie nsem a ekoso wo Parliament ebi ane ye de bramo interesting days ahead and I say interesting times ahead enyoma nwanwa ebisisi wo Parliament wa enya asem ketwa but mamenka wade ba ku bi ansa na mewrafi John Dramani Mahama say enye minority ni majority ne ho ahwan ne so wo ye supreme ho ahwan no di ba be ye adwuma ono de ogidi say oni NPP fo betima ye adwuma oni NDC fo so betima ye adwuma na Ghana fo nyina kan ye ho bumu a na oman no ebetimi akonanim tenye se obeye ne ho supreme na wabehye mmere bi ne wayi obi afirim da bi ohia wo mu nyina yentie nsem a John Dramani Mahama odi etudwa.
So my father and our fathers that we're not going to misuse the majority we have in Parliament. Even though we have a huge majority, more than 2/3, we're not going to misuse it. We're going to consult with the minority at every stage and make sure that we do things by consensus instead of railroading everybody. Everybody knows that I'm a typical diplomat and a Democrat. And so I believe in jaw, I believe in consensus building, and I believe in democracy. I've heard some people call me Supreme Leader. I'm not Supreme Leader. I'm going to continue to work the way I've always been as a Democrat, and we'll continue to consult with our colleagues who are in the NPP. We can only move this country together if all of us work to move it together. I just want to thank the people of Ghana for the overwhelming endorsement they've given us. I think that the people of Ghana realize the enormity of challenge the next government is going to face. And I think that that's why they're giving us this stamp of authority to be able to take the bold decisions that will turn our economy around and put our country back on its feet. And so I went through you to express my appreciation to all Ghanaians for what they've done. But it also puts a responsibility on our shoulders to work assiduously for the people. It shows us that Ghanaians are slow to react, but when they have had enough, they will punish you if you don't work in their interests. And so I make it a reminder to all those who are aspiring to work in the new government that it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be business as usual. It's going to be hard work. And so if people are not prepared to work hard and to sacrifice for Ghana, then they better stay in the private sector and stay wherever they are.
Some say, Anna John Dramani Mahama editudja efa Parliament ene a home minority ni majority ni MPP ni NDC ho nsem ho wo se enye supreme asem ene obeka wa ha na emum no ohia obi bia se omunyina beboa ama Ghana etimi akonanim na ewie ye na eja se say the same NDC for na majority nti omo enipa oda no ato enso bedin komo a che se ne nkomo ana odi ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa yɛntie nsɛm no bi a ɛyɛ ato Forson ɔde to dwa.
Right Honorable Speaker, I'm grateful for the opportunity to make a statement to welcome your good self, leadership, and all honorable members of Parliament back to this august house. Mr. Speaker, I would like to congratulate all members who were re-elected in the just ended parliamentary elections. Right Honorable Speaker, again to our colleagues who unfortunately will not be part of the next parliament, I wish them well in their future endeavors. Mr. Speaker, I would like to profoundly thank the good people of Ghana for their emphatic decision in the December 7th presidential and parliamentary elections. At this point, Mr. Speaker, it is finished. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to thank the people of Ghana for electing His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as the next President of the Republic of Ghana. The people of Ghana have once again shown that they can rise to the occasion when it matters the most. May I, at this point, acknowledge the hard work of our present 137 NDC members of Parliament for their dedication to duty, which has resulted in the unprecedented number of MPs. Mr. Speaker, I'm proud to announce that we were able to snatch over 50 parliamentary seats from our colleagues at the divide. We took more than 50 parliamentary seats from the ruling NPP party. Mr. Speaker, we have that it is possible to reduce the NPP majority. Indeed, in Nkoko Nketenkete is possible. Right Honorable Speaker, the ninth Parliament will be unique and interesting. A contest of ideas between the super NDC majority and the mini-micro NPP minority. Mr. Speaker, what happened on the 7th of December poll was a revolution fought against a government that is obstinate, insensitive, high-handed, and dismissive of public opinion. It was a revolt against a government that called people with dissenting views names, such as detractors, cynics, naysayers. Mr. Speaker, sometimes they call views of dissenting people as Sambalat and Tobias. Clearly shown that they cannot be taken for granted, and that when it matters the most, they will either reward those in office or punish those in office. Right Honorable Speaker, it is obvious MP punished for its poor governance, economic mismanagement, obstinacy, greed, state capture, arrogance of power, impunity, lawlessness, and persecution of political opponents. Mr. Speaker, the lesson is that what happened to the MPP and the outgoing government is that the political class cannot and should not take the people of Ghana for granted. This calls for introspection on the part of the political. When government engages in acts of impunity, lawlessness, and destruction. To my cherished NDC political party and the incoming government, may we never become like the akufo-addo government. Right Honorable Speaker, we have to be different. We cannot be like the NPP government. We may be guided by the principles of integrity, probity, and accountability. Mr. Speaker, the time has come for us to do right by the people of Ghana at all times and to champion people-centered policies that genuinely benefit the voter and the ordinary Ghanaian, not the political class and its cronies. Right Honorable Speaker, indeed, it is finished.
Atuye no ana eye Napo enso di nkomo anse the parliament na bitu ami omo di nkomo omo che omo adwene omo di nsem toto how Ghana beko nanim na ye important owura Napo nso edi nkomo abra ono nso kopie mo parliament ni entie nsem a Napo enso edi tu dwa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you just called for correction of votes and proceedings. It is entirely in the bosom of the House that if a mistake has been done, we correct it now. That contorted argument that no decision was being made, so calling that order to enforce is wrong. He himself, in speaking, he said that there was no decision on the order paper to be made. So maybe we should take advantage that the item on the table now, on the floor now, is correction of votes and proceedings. So, Mr. Speaker, if something has been stated wrongly, this is the time to correct it so that we can move on.
Honorable Dr. Matthew Opeku Prope. Opoku Prempe, yes.
It's not hyphenated.
It's not.
It's not.
Only the Napo is together.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thought the minority leader and the majority leader had come to an understanding as far as government business that we can pursue this session that we are undergoing. Just to get up and say that Ghanaians have totally rejected MPP and all his bills and all his encumbrances is a very, very unfair statement, Mr. Speaker. It's a very, very unfair statement in the sense that there are other things that has been programmed that I think that we shouldn't even bother to do. Why should we at this time take up any bill, whether it is environmental bill or social bill? I think the new government then should come and start, because we are resetting. And I agree, Ghanaians voted for resetting. So, Mr. Speaker, let's probably, the only thing we have to do is to take the vote on account and close shop. We should not continue with any business here, because like Honorable Okujeto said, and rightly so, Ghanaians have voted for the resetting agenda of Nkoko-Nkiti. So, not only that, Mr. Speaker, apart from the vote and proceedings and maybe his end of service benefits that he's very much interested in, every other thing, social protection bill, second reading of bills, third reading, so that we have enough time to do Article 71 business and do vote on account, such that, yes, if it is not worth doing, it's not worth doing. Please. So we have agreed on resetting. Let's close shop on everything. Do those that are interested in that will further his own personal interest and close shop. Thank you.
Some say na Napo editor abonten efa e de onu nso kopie mo parliament opeso wo kire na adwene no okeka ye e wo ho a se ene na ye na no na ekoso e wo parliament a enye asem ketewa eno eda nchen a owura Afenyo nso adi nkomo ono nso wa kire mu se parliament no se we na majority ni minority and at 2028 year base for mesanswa babak wo di nkomo ena jawde eye nsema hodo a edi omanimu so etutu idwa.
Now is Alexander Ebenezer.
Sorry, Alexander.
Mr. Speaker, let me take this opportunity to also welcome you into the House and welcome my colleagues, led by Dr. Kyei-Duah Forson, back into this honorable chamber. Indeed, it is an established constitutional custom that once in every 4 years, the people of this country are given the opportunity to elect their leaders. First, the President of the Republic, and second, parliamentarians, the people's representatives. On the 7th of December, this mandate was rightfully exercised by the people of Ghana. They did so peacefully, without fear. They have elected a president and members of parliament. It is without doubt that our friends in the NDC have emerged victorious. And I take this opportunity to congratulate the leader of the minority side and his team for such an unprecedented feat. I also congratulate His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama on his election. Mr. Speaker, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia did something very unprecedented. We've never witnessed it in the history of our politics before. Relying on his own internal coalition, at 9 a.m. on Sunday, he publicly acknowledged the outcome of the elections, conceded and congratulated the president-elect, who was yet to be officially declared by the Electoral Commission. Mr. Speaker, such a move by him was very historic and commendable. Today, we are here because of that singular action. All of us collective acknowledged that all we have is our democracy. Mr. Speaker, permit me to take us through memory lane. Mr. Speaker, in 1997, after the 1996 elections, the NDC received an overwhelming victory, and the MPP had only 61 in this chamber. It was a 200-member chamber. The NDC was only short of one seat to get the 2/3. But I am happy to say that that supposed mini-minority, micro-minority, as pronounced by Dr. Kyei-Duah Forson, emerged victorious in less than in just 4 years because of hard work. They turned the minority into a majority when it came to the 2000 elections. Mr. Speaker, again, in 2012, the MPP suffered another defeat, and the NDC had a majority. In 2016, another historic feat was achieved by the MPP, where we had overwhelming majority in this chamber of 169 seats. In less than 4 years, we started going back. And by the time the people exercised their mandate again, the 169 had reduced into 137, plus our independent who caucused with us, and we made it to 138. Dr. Forson, I have heard you. You have overwhelming majority. But that majority will start reducing from the 8th of January. And I know that come 2028, we will be in the majority. Mr. Speaker, already we are experiencing some encircling gloom. This darkness we are seeing, and looking at your posture, we know that you have promised a lean government. You say less than 40 ministers, and you the MPs, yes. Mr. Speaker, I know they can't take it. Now that we are coming to minority, be prepared. Be prepared. You see you can't take it. You see you can't take it. Mr. Speaker, even if your flag bearer, who is now president-elect, said 60, we are going to see how many of you will make it. We are going to see. You said 60 ministers and deputy ministers, all inclusive 60. Mr. Speaker, we are going to see how you are going to protect the public purse. We hear from Honorable Setekpe that you cannot implement the free SHS. We await the outcome of your policies. Mr. Speaker, we are aware that this incoming government is going to implement this Nkukwo Nkiti policy. The Nkukwo Nkiti is a social intervention program. We are going to welcome it. But you say you are going to reduce taxes. You are going to repeal the betting tax, the e-levy. You are going to repeal all these taxes. You are going to reduce the taxes at the ports. We wonder where you get the money to implement the Onkukon Ketenkete. Mr. Speaker, these are on a lighter note. But Mr. Speaker, clearly, this is a time for us to reflect, particularly those of us getting into opposition. Indeed, no party can run a perfect government in this country. When you get into government, whilst you are happy to implement your policies, you are likely to make some mistakes. We concede that some mistakes were made. We concede that we couldn't have done everything perfect. The people have spoken, we've accepted it. But Mr. Speaker, the coming days and years will reveal the true colors of this umbrella. And the elephant will be watching keenly in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, this House looks forward to a leadership that will keep us going and keep the lights on in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, let me commend you for the 4 years of your leadership in this House. Mr. Speaker, we may have our disagreements, but it is obvious that members' warfare have been key to your leadership. Nobody can take it away from you. Mr. Speaker, the institutional empowerment you've given to Parliament is equal to none. It's largely because, Mr. Speaker, we had you as a speaker coming from within. Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether you are being retained or a new person is going to be appointed, but I pray that if they decide, Mr. Speaker, if they sack you, Mr. Speaker, of all that you've done for them, they are going to sack you. Of all that Mr. Speaker has done for you, you are going to sack Mr. Speaker. We will see. Mr. Speaker, if they decide to retain you, I know Parliament is going to benefit. But should they decide to retire you, Mr. Speaker, they can do it. Oh, they can do it. They are unpredictable. They can do it. If they decide to retain you, the happiness of this House will gather further momentum. However, if the new government decides to bring a new speaker, that speaker should come from within. We don't want an outsider. We want somebody from within who would understand us. But Mr. Speaker, having said that, we have some major government business outstanding that I would want to encourage colleagues that within the few days and weeks left, we should do everything possible to deal with these government business so that we can say that it is indeed finished. Mr. Speaker, there are also some important welfare matters that I would want to pledge to my colleagues, that together with my colleague Dr. Kyei-Duah Forson, who by virtue of his position in the transitional arrangement so far, I know he would understand the need to cooperate to ensure the happiness of members. I cannot foresee members being happy to do the rest of government business when we've not dealt with the issues of welfare. Mr. Speaker, these matters must be attended to. Members have projects outstanding in their constituencies. We need to together work and ensure that statutory funds that are outstanding are released so that members can continue their projects, hand them over, especially those who are leaving us. Mr. Speaker, to colleagues who could not make it, there's a better day tomorrow. Do not give up. The Frenchman will say, "C'est la vie." This is life. There are good days and bad days. If you lost, get back to the people, understand them, do some research, and I'm quite sure that upon that and reflection, you'll be better prepared for a better day tomorrow. There are some amongst us who lost elections and came back. Go to them, consult them, and engage them. And if you are desirous of remaining in public life, I'm sure you'll make it the next time around. For those of us who have won, let us be mindful of the needs of our people. We should really evaluate, assess, and critically analyze our votes. Those that were coming down, we should know what the people are telling us, so that we'll be better prepared for the next election in terms of the decisions that we'll take. Mr. Speaker, with this, I would want to again welcome colleagues and thank also the parliamentary service staff. They've been our silent enablers, encouraging us, supporting us. You know, Mr. Speaker, they make us function and function effectively. To them, I say thank you. We appreciate your work in silence. God will richly bless you for all you do in silence for the benefit of the people's representatives. Mr. Speaker, without more, let me thank you for this opportunity, and I say may God bless this house. Thank you.
There's a parliament who go pima no more course when he John Dramani Muhammad some work ye can see ania omunyina be come ho abum no omabo ama Ghana etimi akonanim. The most important thing is Ghana for ato abayi omo say omo nko gina omo anemu na omo entimi nye bibi emfama omo Ghana for no a me meka ho bie wa otie twika se ya mekan nso ka ho bie na de tie ni say parliament ebetima hyemra so muntimi hyemra semra papa beba semra papa mba eno de se de omo nan anemu LGBTQ home sensem ye da parliament yi a omo se e wosa aban ne pass ya won pass yi se de mu ayefo Mahama ana ba be president ana eye parliament nso omo nso na take over omo nso ye majority se de se ye pass sa amra no a me gidi se 2 seconds pe omo metimi 2 seconds a pass sa amra yi enti ye hwe omo LGBTQ hwan ana omo na na da nkwa akufo-addo nkosan a wansan ya abesi ne ye da so da hoyi me ye sure so ma besi su de achekura 2 seconds omo abe pass sa amra no ne ye hwe kwan ye be fa so embo omo kwohyehyeye se obi elbo obi bayi ni nyina ti amra no sa amra me ye sure se omo aba bayi omo wo majority de emrebu omo pass ni nyina afiri ho na ne ye hwe kwan ye be fa so se Ghana be ko nanim se nko nanim NDC for aba musisi ye omo betima pass mra bi omo pe because omo no e wo parliament ya omo no doso nti se basel ade bebo o man Ghana no so omo se omo pass nko ade a e very easy e de ma e Ghana fo nyina se bi hunu de e besie ni de e beko nyina ye de wo ho de be ba bia se ba besom atifo obetima subscribe to channel we no we me adoma no for notification and no first time wa me di video 2 mo announce enso atimi akabi for comment section enkomo ya wutie yi wadwen che wo ho ene sei